Charles Caldwell, EN3. When we first met, a friend of ours had just come back from vacation. Him and his wife were living in the upstairs apartment from where I was, and her sister had came over to Scotland to see them. And her sister wanted to learn some dancing. Of course, my wife can teach dancing, Scottish dancing. So they got together, and then we ended up, they wanted to have a ceilidh, so they got together and had a ceilidh, and my wife was at the ceilidh. It's where you get together and sing and drink and just good fellowship. It was in the evenings, so we had a great time really, singing, and had food and drinks and just had a real good time. So when his wife took Kathy back to Dunoon, he looked at me, and we was cleaning up. He says, "There's a girl for you." And I said, "No, she's dating someone." He looked at me and he says, "So what?" Shortly after that, we got together. We met once or twice before. I went to the store where she was working, really, to buy a pack of cigarettes, which was terrible. But anyway, so just so I could see her. And then I walked her down the town the one day when she was leaving for vacation. And when she came back, we went up to her mom and dad's house, and that's where I asked her to marry me.
Well, I was a Highland dancer, and in the summertime when the English would come up to our small town, my girlfriend and I would go to a couple of the different hotels and we'd demonstrate the Highland dancing. So the one week his friends came to the hotel because the apartment they were staying in was close to it, was outside of Dunoon. And they watched us dance, and then they came over and asked if one of us could help teach her sister some Highland dancing because she already did ballet. At the time my girlfriend wasn't able to do it, so I went ahead and did it, and that's was the beginning of the end for me. Well, back then I was like 17. It was Beatles era. It was a different time, and to be honest, we did not mingle much with the American sailors. Basically, we'd been warned away from them, stay away from the American sailors. So if it hadn't been for me getting with the family that he knew to teach her to do Highland dancing, we would never have met. It just wouldn't have happened, because we had dances every weekend, but the big dance hall we had was, it was almost split in two. There'd be all the locals would be in the front half towards the stage, and all the Americans would be at the back half, and we just, for the longest time, we just didn't mingle that much. Well, we got married. Well, I met him, we got married, and we left to come over here all within 6 months. Came over here, and I mean, we've been married 56 years now. And I ended up teaching dancing over here for 50 years.
Really?
Which I never wanted to do, but there weren't many Highland dance teachers around, so he gave me the nudge, and then he gave me a big push. So, no, I've enjoyed my life over here. I worked for about 38 years, so yeah, it's been good. It's been a good life, but I like to go home and see family still. Well, up until COVID, for about 15 to 20 years, I was going every year while my mom was still alive. She passed away right before COVID, and there wasn't any traveling for a couple of years, so I went home 2 years ago, and then it was 3 years between that. So I guess now we're going to average about every 2 years. I'm getting old. That traveling is kind of hard. It takes a long time. It's a 24-hour trip from beginning to end, so too much.
And then we had our 2 sons, one of which went into the Navy.
Yeah, he served 6 years. So the other one didn't go in, but the oldest one did. And he was hoping that maybe somewhere he'd get posted back on into Dunoon. But they closed the base down, I think, about 91, 92, and that was the end of it. So he ended up in Japan, which he loved. But no, it's been great.